Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin's price action and talking about what could potentially happen next, as well as an update on the weekly time frame and the fear and greed index. And we'll also talk about what Ethereum is doing currently in comparison to what it did yesterday, what sort of move it's now enjoying, and what to expect from that move going forward. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum in today's video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Let's dive right into the video right after our quick sponsor. Our sponsor for today's episode is Rekt Capital. Invictus offers a smart index fund called Crypto 10 Hedged that provides investors with exposure to the top 10 cryptocurrencies while limiting loss of capital through a dynamic cash hedging mechanism. The fund dynamically adjusts its crypto exposure by an algorithm developed by the Invictus Quant team to reduce volatility and enhance returns. When the market goes down, the fund moves into interest-bearing cash holdings and pivots back into crypto when the market rebounds. To mitigate concentration risks for investors, the fund caps holdings of individual cryptos at 15% while rebalancing the fund weekly. The team does their due diligence and assesses each coin before it becomes eligible to enter the fund. Check out the link in the description down below to learn more about the Crypto 10 Hedged Fund by Invictus Capital and invest today. Awesome, so here's Bitcoin's price action. We're forming this downtrending channel at the moment, and since yesterday we have managed to successfully retest the bottom of that channel, and today Bitcoin is trying to reaffirm the bottom of this channel once again, just to continue to solidify its positioning at the bottom of this structure, and it's doing that at a higher low at the moment. And what's interesting about the daily time frame is that we're seeing a very subtle RSI bullish divergence with price, but it's very subtle, non-conclusive at the moment. I think the most important thing to mention here is at the bottom of this green box, once upon a time, a major resistance area is now figuring as a support. So that's a tremendous change over the past few months, and we are still successfully holding this support. And if you look at this long downside wick, we weren't able to generate much of a reaction from that, because now on this weekly follow through, we're still holding the bottom of the support. But what's possible here is, are we slowing down in the sell side momentum here? That's something to bear in mind. The daily could be suggesting some sort of consolidation at these lows. Really too soon to say whether that RSI bullish divergence is a conclusive one, but as long as this structure holds and the bottom of this pattern along with the bottom of this green box, as long as that area holds, we can avoid the lower 50s. And this weekly candle is still respecting the bottom of that weekly demand area. That's effectively what this is, a demand area that is still holding up as a support. And a weekly close like this would still mean that we're still holding the bottom of this demand area. What we need to avoid at this point in time is effectively a weekly close below this green area, because that would essentially confirm to us that we're going to go much lower, maybe even to the very low 50s. But at the moment, that support hasn't been lost. There is some suggestion that we are slowing in the sell side momentum. Too early stage a signal to really be confident about that. And by the same token, too early a signal to be talking about this RSI being a conclusive bullish divergence signal as well. We've rebounded from the bottom of this structure, but no real upside just yet. So something to consider nonetheless, as well as this fear and greed index, which yesterday was at 33, today it's at 42. And what I mentioned recently is that we might be seeing this fluctuating in the fear and greed index before we finally reach to extreme fear. And extreme fear isn't necessarily a prerequisite to seeing Bitcoin reverse in its price action, but it would be great, because historically we tend to see extreme fear precede financial opportunity. And at this point in time, it's really important to ask ourselves the question, do we need extreme fear? And if we do need it, what needs to happen for that extreme fear to come into the market, for people to become maximum pessimists towards Bitcoin and doubt and be uncertain about a reversal occurring? For them effectively to think that the bear market is coming, that the bull market is over, and we need to see whether or not that extreme fear will come. And if it comes, what needs to happen? Does Bitcoin need to break down? Do we need to see a recovery first and a rejection before a breakdown, or even a rejection from here and a return to this support, which, mind you, would be at a lower price point than the support is at this point in time, right? Because as time goes along, this support continues to decline. So maybe if we rebound from here, reject from here, and then revisit this support region, perhaps this being now at a lower price point than it is at today, perhaps this would be a level that would generate some extreme fear. So that's something to all bear in mind, because we are still dealing with pieces of information that are still just incoming, and we're trying to react to this information that hasn't yet been crystallized. Those are some of the moving parts and things that I'm considering at the moment. And when it comes to Ethereum's price action, here's what I'm watching for, because we've seen a fantastic higher low form here. Not only just on the macro scale, a higher low, but this is still a higher low as well, a micro one nonetheless. And we've rebounded. But the thing about that is that this is a confluent resistance area, and we need to claim the red and blue level as a support to be able to challenge for those all-time high regions, and we haven't been able to reclaim that region just yet. And if we weekly close below here, then we'll probably see a rejection back to this higher low and this green area once again. So at the moment, it's all about this level, really. This resistance needs to turn into support for Ethereum to move higher. And if it can't, then this is going to pose more sell-side pressure on this support region. So it's all about this sandwiching in price action for Ethereum and just trying to understand which level is actually stronger at the moment. Great to see that we have a micro higher low forming here. So there's some strength in the buy side reaction from buyers, because we didn't even get a picture perfect retest of this macro trend line. So it's great to see that the buyers are actually proceeding, trying to rush into Ethereum before that contact is made. So some strength here in the buy side. So now that we know that there is some strength in the buy side just by that little subtlety in the downside wick, now that we have some strength here, we can now start to answer the question, or at least ask the question, how strong is this sell side resistance? And if we get a strong rejection there, then we might see this seller pressure be quite strong as well, in which case does it overpower this buy side interest here. So this trend line nonetheless is one to watch out for. This needs to be reclaimed into support for further upside to occur. At the moment, Bitcoin is still respecting a weekly time frame demand area, while still in this wedging structure on the daily time frame, with a subtle bullish divergence still occurring, but nonetheless no extreme fear just yet. Still a little bit fearful, the sentiment, and since yesterday we've seen an increase in that sentiment from 33 to 42. So investors are getting a bit of relief with this consolidation here. And is that good for a price reversal argument? Because we need to see maximum pessimism, maximum uncertainty and doubt and fear. Are we getting that if people are seeing relief with consolidation inside that structure? Something to bear in mind, a question to answer, or at least address very soon. Is extreme fear needed to precede financial opportunity? And most of the time it is. But what needs to happen in Bitcoin's price action for that extreme fear to come into the market? Thank you so much for watching today. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. And of course, like this video if you'd like to see more market analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies. I'm Rekt Capital. Thanks so much for watching today. I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.